Namaste. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. My name is Kristyn and I'm so excited to share with you today a short yoga asana clinic for downward facing dog or Adho Muhka Svanasana in Sanskrit. This is a really foundational pose within any yoga asana practice. An inversion, a type of pose where we bring the head down below the hips. And it's a very strong foundational pose where we're simultaneously building strength within the body as well as flexibility. We hug muscle to bone, we tone the body, so it's a full body experience. And I'd like to leave room towards the end of this video for some modifications. In particular, for anyone who, like me, has a history of wrist injuries, I'd love to offer 2 variations towards the end of this video, so if you'd like to stick around, that's a nice option. For those variations, you will need 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, you might reach for a book, a nice thick book, or something in lieu of blocks that feels sturdy and foundational. Always listen to your body, what it needs, because I guarantee you if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. So when you're ready, we're gonna come to tabletop position. And just take a moment here to stack the joints. Bring the shoulders over the wrist, even slightly in front of the wrist. Stack the hips over top of the knees. The knees come hip width. And you can have the toes tucked or untucked. We're gonna move through some flexion extension of the spine first. So a little bit of pratapana, a warm up before downward facing dog to really help us dive in deeper into this pose. So spread your fingertips wide, hug navel to spine, lengthen from root to crown. And your knees will tell you if you want your toes tucked or untucked here. On your next breath in, dip your belly low, lift your gaze, pull your heart forward, lift your tail, cow spine. And then as you exhale, begin to press the earth away from you, tuck your tail, hug navel to spine, tuck your chin, broaden through the shoulder blades and look to your toes. Inhale, dip the belly, dip the heart, then pull the heart forward, broaden the collarbones, lift your gaze. Exhale, dome the upper back, hug navel to spine so you're expelling all of that breath out. Just take one more breath flowing through cat-cow. This flexion, extension of the spine. And then come to neutral spine, tabletop. Tuck your toes under if they're not already. Spread your fingertips wide, ground into your palms, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press into your palms, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Now it might feel nice as an introduction into this pose to start to bring in a little bit of movement. You might pedal out the feet, bend one knee and then the other. You might shift your hips from side to side, letting the heels float from side to side, lengthening into the lateral meridians of the body here. You might even feel called to shake your head, yes or no, letting go of any tension around the cervical spine and the neck. But then take time to find stillness in this pose. Bring your feet hip width. Micro bend your knees. So the intention here is to bring more weight into the legs. Spread your fingertips wide, ground into the palms, press into your index fingers. Bring your heart a little bit closer to the top of your thighs so your head comes in line with the arms. Open up the armpits as you bring your shoulder blades together and then draw your shoulder blades down towards your tail. Lengthen the spine as you draw the tail up towards the sky. Lift your sits bones high and then let your heels fall, but they don't need to touch down. Hug the rib cage in and then come back home to the breath. Now, if you're feeling particularly tight in the hamstrings today, bend your knees a little bit deeper. As well, if you're feeling a little bit of tension or discomfort in the wrist, this can really help to relieve any tension in the wrists. Oftentimes we deepen too much into the flexion in the top of the wrist where our head comes forward and there's too much weight in the upper body, putting too much stress onto the wrists. So by micro bending the knees, drawing the heart towards the top of the thighs can help to relieve some of that tension. Now you might choose to stay for 10 breaths to really establish this foundation. Notice where you feel strong here. You can stay as long as you need, but when you're ready, inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, come down slow, tabletop. Untuck the toes, come to sit on the top of your heels. Bring your palms to touch, interlace your fingers, and just start to find some rotations in the wrists. Just nourishing the wrist joints here. Beautiful. So allow that to be variation 1, downward facing dog. We'll come into variation 2, a little bit more support for the wrist today by bringing in 2 blocks underneath the hands. So the blocks come shoulder width. And again, take a moment to build this foundation from table. Stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, tuck the toes under, ground into your palms, inhale deeply. Exhale, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So a little bit more support here to help bring more weight into the legs. Again, micro bend your knees, press into your palms, your index fingers, bring your shoulder blades together, your head in line with the arms, heart towards the top of your thighs. Tilt your tailbone up, lengthen the spine, let your heels fall. Come back home to the breath. You might even imagine the breath flowing in through the palms of the hands up to the tail of the spine to lengthen the spine up. And then imagine the breath flowing down the legs and out the heels to ground down. So using the flow of prana, the flow of energy to facilitate the alignment within this pose. Take one more breath in, lift the heels, exhale, lower the knees down, untuck the toes. Again, come to sit on the tops of the heels, bring the palms to touch, and find some rotations in the wrists. Also, after an inversion, it can be a really nice opportunity to just pause for a moment, letting all of that blood flow come down from the brain and back into the body. Good. We'll explore our final variation, dolphin pose. Similar alignment to downward facing dog, but instead of coming onto the palms, we're going to come down onto the forearms. So from tabletop position, you can tuck your toes under for more support here. Come down onto the forearms, but keep the shoulders stacked over top of the elbows. Spread the palms, spread the fingertips wide. Tuck your toes under, breathe in deeply. As you exhale, press your hips up and back. Now you might feel called to shorten or lengthen your stance here, but again, similar alignment to downward facing dog. Micro bend your knees, press into your palms and your forearms to bring your head in line with the arms, draw your heart towards your upper thighs. Tilt your sits bones up, let your heels fall. Draw the shoulder blades together and then draw the shoulder blades down towards your tail so you're hugging muscle to bone around the shoulders, strong in the upper body, shifting all of that weight into the lower half of the body. Take a deep breath in. Lift both heels, exhale, lower the knees down, untuck the toes, and bring the low belly to the top of the thighs, sinking down into child's pose, balasana. You can either take the knees together or take the knees wide, but child's pose is a wonderful counter shape after downward facing dog. When you're ready, you can roll the spine all the way up. Let your palms rest on top of your thighs. Sit up nice and tall, and just take a moment here to notice how you feel. Noticing all of those parts of yourself that were once strong and active. When you're ready, you can flutter the eyes open. And I would just really love to thank you all for choosing this practice today. I hope you enjoyed this short asana clinic. There's a lot of alignment cues within downward facing dog, but they're so important. And once you've got the alignment, you'll feel it within your body. Also, the room for variation can really help offer you options anytime you feel like you need a little bit more support for the wrists. Always listen to your body knows what's best. Now, if you're here from the 200-hour Embodied Wisdom Yoga Teacher Training, please leave a like, a comment, let me know that you are here so that we can follow along your exciting journey. If you're feeling called to attend an online 200-hour yoga teacher training, please connect with me. We would love to have you. This online platform has opened up this training to bring together like-minded beings from all around the world, and we would love to connect with you. As well, we're diving down into Costa Rica, February 2023, for 2 back-to-back yoga retreats. If you'd like to join us, if you'd like more information about this tropical excursion, please let us know. We're so excited. If you'd like to subscribe, you can get notified when new content comes out each and every week. And if you'd like to see specific content, please let me know. I would love to support you in any way that would help meet your needs for your yoga practice, even off of your mat. I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.